was listening to Miss Stamps, and she was talking about the pink flower. And for a lot of years, I felt like a pink flower. And I guess I'll tell you a little bit about why. One of the reasons I'm here is because some years back, I was a young mother, and I had 3 sons. And I like to go out on the weekends and party. I always send with the babysitter. And my babysitter, I guess she decided that she could be a better parent to them than me. And she made some calls to the social services. So I had went to pick up, I had 3 sons, and one of them had spent the night with her grandmother, and I had went to pick the other 2 up from the babysitter. When I got there, she said they weren't there. And so I asked her where they were at, and she told me that I had to go to the police department to find out where they were at. And so I did, and when I got there were these 2 big detectives, and they were like, "Where's that other child that you gotta bring him here? And if you don't bring him, you're never gonna see the other ones." And I'm still in the dark about what's going on. I had no idea what was going on. No one came to talk to me. And the babysitter just had a smirk on her face, so I had no idea what was happening. And so I struggled with it, but I did take my oldest son up there to the police department, and they took him from me. And I remember that the rest seemed like a nightmare. I was sort of in a daze. But I remember they did take them, took custody of my children from me, and we had took it to trial, and the babysitter had, she recanted her story because she told them that she lied, that she just wanted my children because she wanted to get a check from them. And she said that in court, and I still never got them back, and I never was charged with abuse or neglect. But they were the first children to go on Wednesday's Child in the state of Kentucky. And they were adopted out, and the home that they went to, the lady's son was a heroin addict, and so they were abused. So it's been so long ago, but the pain is still real fresh. And it feels like heart surgery, without anesthesia. Like somebody just ripped my chest open. And I drank over that for a lot of years. I mean, I'm not going to say that's the reason I drank, but it did seem to help for some years. And then finally, I decided that it was time to stop feeling sorry for myself and to try to do something maybe to help someone else and help myself in the process. So I celebrated 8 years of sobriety last year. It's so hard because I do work for EKU as a family mentor, and I remember when I applied for the job that they told me, they said, "Well, you can't get this position if you have abuse or neglect charges against you." And I was like, "Well, I don't." And she was like, "Didn't you have your children removed?" I said, "Yes." And so she couldn't believe it. And one of the supervisors, she talked to me, she said, "I remembered your case." She said, "We really dropped the ball on that one." And so I just know that you all are about to go into this field, and I want you all to know that it takes some empathy in this field. People don't want sympathy, they want empathy. And the reason that I don't feel like that pink flower anymore was because when I did the Undoing Racism clinic, it made me realize that I could fertilize and water myself, and that I was really a red flower. And that I could also fertilize and water others. And I have custody of my nieces today. I have custody. I've had 4 of them. 2 of them, one's 19 now, one's 18, and I have a 15 and a 12-year-old. And so their mother passed away in 2002. It took me about 4 years to get custody of them. They went through a lot in the system. They had 2 of the girls. They were, at the time, they were 12 and 13. They were in a foster home, and the foster mother would take them to the mall on a Friday and pick them up on a Sunday. And she didn't know what to do with them. I mean, they were teenagers, and it was just, I reported her and got that taken care of. But it took me I do know that because of people like Ms. Ames and Dave and Dr. Eskelman, it's so many people. It's just behind the scenes people and people at the front lines that are working so hard to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen because of the color of a person's skin. I had really big dreams for my children, even when they were little. And I do have great success. My daughter, she's been on her own since she's 18 and always had a job. She's a young mother, but I love my grandchildren. I have 5 of them. I have 3. I have one from, my daughter has 3 and 2 of my sons have 1. My one son called me yesterday. He got his associate's degree, and he called me to tell me that the college offered him a job at Jefferson Community College. So it's, it's just that actually the undoing racism clinics from where I stand are, it's like America's saving grace. I don't know how you could have empathy for someone that you don't know anything about. I think, that if you are working for me, and if you are in the social services field, you are working for the families, I think you owe them to find out something about them before you go and put your beliefs and your opinions on them. So if you do have the opportunity to do the undoing racism clinics, it would be, if you like self-improvement, you're in for a little treat. So, but